a few more James Hoops. Superb performance from the Hoops this afternoon. Now for the treble, Kieran Boyle, you're watching Glasgow Celtic turning on the style. See, going back to the treble thing, Keith, it's actually mad how much Celtic have normalised winning a treble. I think this if they do win it, be 6 and 9 seasons.
It's crazy.
Mentioned before that between 1969 and 2000, they didn't win any.
Yeah.
And there was 6 years in the 90s where Celtic didn't win a trophy at all. So for I don't know, I just can't get over how normal it is now for Celtic to win a treble.
And it should never be viewed as normal. And the problem is that you know, there's a danger that Celtic view the treble now as par. And it's not. It's an outstanding achievement. Every single time it's done, it's an outstanding achievement. And this is why, you know, we had a discussion, didn't we, about Manager of the Year as well. And you know, I think it's really important to remember what you've just said there, Daniel. Winning trebles is almost a freakish achievement in any season. The fact that Celtic are amassing them, stockpiling, doesn't make the achievement in any single season any less. So for me, you know, Brendan Rodgers should win that out the park as well.
And also, I think I'm right in saying now 21 games in the Scottish Cup without defeat, which is just mind-blowing.
He's 42 domestic cup ties for Celtic.
That's crazy.
And he's won 41 of them.
That's absolutely crazy.
So the Kilmarnock away in the League Cup was the only one that he hasn't won.
That is bonkers, regardless of who you're managing.
It's absolutely stupid.
The
numbers, and it just reflects on the fact that, you know, Celtic are really lucky to have Brendan Rodgers in charge. It was Brendan Rodgers that started this factory line of domestic clean sweeps, and it's carried on over the years. But he's the guy that made this, as you said, feel a normal event. Winning trebles will never, ever be a normal event. Celtic should really enjoy this period of domination, because none of us have ever experienced a period where it's just been as completely dominant as Celtic have been over the last, however long that is now, 15 years or whatever?
Aye, more or less. Let me read out a couple more comments. We've got tons of comments coming in. If you want to get involved in the discussion, please do. Mark says that we're wrong. We're asking the wrong question about Cal McGregor. We're asking, how does his performance manage to lift the whole team from a 6 or 7 out of 10 to an 8 or 9? He's incredible. This one from John, he says, as a Celtic fan, I'm disappointed if we don't win the treble. It's the sign of the times. And Mark Nicholas Moore says, I think next season Celtic should play their youth team in the cup games, as other clubs need a chance at silverware. They're just too good for Scottish football and could start the season with a minus 20 points and we could still win the league. I don't know if I'd go quite that far, but it has been a pretty mad period.
Well, you need to see what the reaction is across the city, don't you? We're all still waiting on this Andrew Kavanagh's takeover. God knows when that's going to happen, but it was supposed to. If it's on schedule, it should be done before the end of this month. I don't think that they've put in any plans in place for next season as things stand, in terms of who's the manager's going to be, what the squad looks like. So you need to see what the reaction looks like, if there's going to be a reaction from Rangers. My own view is that they're leaving it really late to start putting down the building blocks to make themselves competitive in time for the start of the next season. I think Celtic are miles out in front. But, you know, let's see. Because, you know, they'll obviously be coming in looking to make a difference, and to, you know, shake things up, be disruptors. So let's see. But Celtic just seem so far in front right now that it doesn't feel. I mean, I don't know how you would set about trying to bridge that gap in the space of a few weeks over the summer, because it's enormous. Yeah. And you just, it's difficult to see anything other than continued dominance for Celtic at this period of time. Brendan Rodgers still got a year left in his contract. Do you think he intends to end up his time at Celtic, if that's what this is, his final campaign, with anything less than another treble? I guarantee you there's no way. And I found it interesting after the game today, Rodgers was mentioning that he's now going to set I think he called them performance targets for his players for the last 5 league games of the season. And that's all about, as discussed, when it's not nip and tuck, when you're operating in an environment where there's not a lot of jeopardy, it can be really hard to keep the standards up, to keep the momentum building. And clearly that's his way. He'll just now set aside this block of games, say, how many goals they're looking to score, how many points they want to take. Well, that'll be 15. And targets that, I think, obviously, I firmly believe that he started this campaign looking for 100 points on the board from the league. He's not going to achieve that this season, but he'll want to get as near it as possible. And he'll have, again, targets for how many goals he wants his team to score, just to keep them on their toes, to keep them motivated, and to keep them fully firing as they head towards the Scottish Cup final in May against Aberdeen.
Mark, again, says Rangers are a decade and at least £50 million behind. I think things like that, though...
These things change. These things can change really quickly. We've seen it before. When Ange Postecoglou came into Celtic, I don't think anybody really believed that he could do what he did in such a short space of time. That turnaround was incredible. Rangers started that campaign as champions and fell apart when the pressure was put on from Celtic and Ange Postecoglou. So it can change. We've seen it. All sorts of examples down the years.
The Dick Advoc, Martin O'Neill coming in, overturning 21 points.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Yeah, it can happen. I think when Walter Smith went back to Rangers for his second stint. So it can happen. It has been done. But yes, I take the point. It does feel as if the gap has never been bigger. And you look at the Rangers squad right now and you think that thing needs blown up. That needs blown up and started again, which is going to require a whole load of work. And as I said to you, my concern from a Rangers perspective at this point is I don't think they've got started anywhere near early enough, which means that they might have a very similar looking group of players back in the building at the start of the pre-season. And nobody's going to turn them into a championship winning side. It's just not going to happen.